This is Our Time, the main news at this hour. I'm Oleg Borisov in the studio. Hello. This morning, Russian troops struck a civilian bus in the suburbs of Kherson. 2 people were killed, 16 were injured. While trying to retrieve the bodies, Russian occupiers attacked the bus again. 3 police officers were injured, and in the Zaporizhia district, a Russian drone struck a car. 2 people who were inside the vehicle were killed. Overnight, Russia launched 49 aerial targets at Ukraine, including 47 drones of various types, some of them decoys, as well as 2 cruise missiles. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 16 Shahid-type drones and 1 Iskander-K cruise missile were destroyed or suppressed by electronic warfare systems. The attack was carried out from 5 directions. Strike drones attacked the frontline areas of the Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, and Donetsk regions, while the missiles targeted the city of Dnipro. Over the past day, 163 combat engagements were recorded. The Russian army carried out 2 missile strikes and 74 airstrikes, used 3 missiles, dropped more than 100 guided bombs, and launched over 5,000 kamikaze drones. The enemy attacked areas in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. The defense forces struck 3 command posts, artillery, 5 concentrations of enemy personnel, and other important targets. The hottest directions are Pokrovsk, Lyman, and Novopavlivka. The Russian army has intensified combat operations in the Zaporizhia and Kherson directions. The Russian occupiers have already transferred additional reserves to these regions. Lieutenant General Aya Romanenko, founder of the charitable foundation We Will Close the Sky of Ukraine, spoke about this on the Freedom TV channel.
In the Zaporizhia direction, the most intense recent fighting has been in Huliapol and Orakiv. Kamiansk and Stepnohursk are even further north of Kamiansk. Kamiansk itself is on high ground, so it's important who controls it and how. And Stepnohursk is even further north. At first, they sent in sabotage and reconnaissance groups into Stepnohursk. Our forces defeated them there. But from Stepnohursk to Zaporizhia, there is, first of all, a road that they, so to speak, like to use for combat operations and movement. And in general, it's only 25 kilometers from there to Zaporizhia.
Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupiers. President Volodymyr Zelensky stated this in an urgent morning address. The head of state emphasized that the answer to the Ukrainian territorial question is already in the Constitution of Ukraine.
The Ukrainian people deserve peace. But all partners must understand what a just peace means. This war needs to end, and Russia must be the one to end it. Russia started it and is dragging it out, ignoring all deadlines. That is the problem, not anything else. The answer to the Ukrainian territorial question is already in the Constitution of Ukraine. No one will back down from this, nor will anyone be able to. Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupier. Ukraine is ready for real solutions that can bring peace. Any decisions made against us, any decisions made without Ukraine, are at the same time decisions against peace. They will achieve nothing. These are dead-end decisions. They will never work. What we all need is a real, living peace that people will respect.
Let me remind you, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, announced that on August 15th in Alaska, he will meet with the head of the Kremlin regime, Putin. The head of the White House wrote about this on his social network, Truth Social, and said that the details of the meeting will be revealed later.
We have worked on many such deals. We completed each of them all over the world, and this is the last one. Russia is losing about 6 or even 7,000 soldiers every week. In the past month and a half, Russia has lost nearly 25,000, while Ukraine has lost significantly fewer. A huge number of people are dying.
Ukraine's membership in the European Union and NATO will help counter Russian disinformation more effectively, according to Pyotr Lukasevich, the acting chargé d'affaires of Poland and Ukraine. According to him, the Kremlin is trying to undermine trust between countries and peoples. When neighbors have disputes, only Russia benefits, the diplomat said. Valeria Nikopolova will continue on this topic.
The Speaker of the Russian Federation Council, Matvienko, continues to use assets in Italy with impunity. Her family uses a real estate fund to launder capital and circumvent sanctions.
What struck me most was the incredible impunity with which they conduct their economic and criminal activities. For them, the war never even started. They just keep doing business and living like mafia bosses. Massimiliano Caccia, investigative journalist, in a comment to Ukrinform agency.
Caccia published a high-profile investigation into the schemes used by Russian officials and oligarchs to illegally own property and businesses in Italy, shortly after the Russian delegation led by Matvienko arrived in Switzerland for the World Conference of Speakers of Parliament. The participants of the event staged a walkout. They left the hall during the speech of the Federation Council speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen.
In her address to the half-empty hall, Matvienko predictably repeated Kremlin propaganda narratives, once again accusing the Ukrainian authorities of allegedly shelling Donbass and claiming that Russia was supposedly forced to intervene. The official also accused Western countries of anti-Russian rhetoric and called for the lifting of sanctions against the Federation. In addition, Matvienko invited the leaders of UN member states to come to Donbass and visit the so-called Alley of Angels. These speculations are part of a large-scale disinformation campaign by the Kremlin, aimed at justifying the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, as explained by the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine.
Russian propaganda is actively promoting an exhibition dedicated to the children of Donbass, which was held in Chile. This exhibition was organized by Rossotradnichesvo, a Russian state agency that, under the guise of cultural cooperation, systematically works to spread Russian propaganda and influence abroad. From a statement by the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine on Telegram.
Behind the Russian machine of lies stand not only official figures and institutions, but also aggressive propagandists on television and radio, internet trolls, and bots who flood social networks around the clock with disinformation and manipulative content. Every year, Russia spends billions of dollars on state propaganda.
For example, in 2015, according to estimates from the Center for Strategic Studies, Russia's annual spending on the information war in the West was about $4 billion. And in 2024, according to Ukrainian intelligence, Russia planned to spend $1.5 billion just to destabilize the situation in Ukraine.
The information war waged by Russia is one of the elements of its hybrid aggression. In addition to spreading fake news and conducting influence operations, Moscow regularly carries out cyber attacks and engages in cyber espionage, fuels migration crises, organizes sabotage, and interferes in democratic processes. And it also demonstrates its military power to Ukraine's allies. It ostentatiously moves troops and equipment, and regularly conducts military exercises near the borders of EU and NATO countries. Valeria Nikpolova for Freedom TV Channel.